or a Vision FC coach. Yani coach in Komo ahead of game on Yami Aduma Basso against Atofo. Coach Bibiabo Cordia.
Yami Adum Pibonia, nowhere.
Yami Adum coach me hoye pa. Na ya mo akwaba nso bo pem so radio so anwumrei.
Let us.
Coach, mama Musa we so far sign now be ready Vision FC mo doubt season mum sign now be ready mo modern mo league nim.
A little bit dicey, topsy-turvy kakra. I think that targets I mean set him as an individual to me and achieve that target. Boys have done really well. Boys have done really well, but of course, most of them, probably about 90% of them, are very new to the Ghana Premier League, until they are still adjusting to the fact that they are playing at the highest level here in Ghana. But team performance, your home record will not say it is too good, but you lose a lot of games. Your most losses are away games. So far, no, and you're so good at the same time, and you're that bad. We still have chance of getting up somewhere to a respectable position in the BBA league. You know, and see, for us, it is okay, but we still want more.
Coach, more buy into the season, you know, now targets no say ankasa because move Division 1. I feel na mobile league nibi targets no na say ankasa.
Okay, I mean truthfully, me management and set any target on me.
Okay.
They didn't tell me say ABI, you know, Konako winning league and I say Konako winning FA Cup and I your top 4 and I be, but me ankasa no be a very I'm the type of me ankasa me the pressure at me also. I like to challenge myself in near BB and ABM to try to get to the top. And as much as the club was a new club and I was also very new to the Premiership, me and I'm a target. I'm setting my it was at least to be part of the top 4. It was very, very important for me as an individual. But the club itself did not set any target for me.
Oh, okay. Coach, our last game our boy was against Aduana Stars. You lost Ewadoma. Prior to that game, no one winning 3-2 against Samates. And they ball against Hatfield on Sunday.
Yeah.
Does it put any pressure on you while losing how they call game with him?
In terms of pressure there, no. May I be pressure made it to me also you know, the pressure to succeed or to achieve my targets, but and yet say be a certain club be a meaning and put pressure no so Hearts of Folk and personally me respect Hearts of Folk because if they are not one of the biggest, they are the biggest club here in Ghana. Into one and where they are that the factor when Hearts of Folk your preparations and your focus and everything no switch it a little bit, and yet the same as you know, maybe I'll need Adriana Biko and any other smaller club to say Basake or any to say young apostles only the target you set for yourself a little bit different. Into a heart of folk preparation has to be different, physical preparation has to be different, technical, tactical, and psychological preparation a little bit different because only a top club but in terms of pressure. I don't think the pressure and let's say at training I told my boys and yet so much of Hearts of Folk Dina with the but so much of the players that you're going to go play or more Hearts of Folk Dina with the most of them have either born if are club administrators and now say you know they are doing other businesses or probably they are even no more. And see it being Hearts of Folk but the players that are playing Hearts of Folk at the moment almost sure some are the same as the players playing Vision. The fact that they are playing Hearts of Folk, you're playing Vision, does not put any pressure on you because players are the same standard. Obo Premier. You know, the only difference they say Obo one of the biggest clubs and you are playing one of the newest clubs. And to go in without any pressure, go and do what you do, probably a bit more in the final third because you bought good football, you created lots of chances. Your only problem is that you to me and very chances. And the whole week all that we've been doing is working in phase 4. motivating them and helping them learn the finishing technique, how to be much more composed in the box, so that at least we'll be able to put some goals in Hearts of Oak net. But apart from that, I don't think that there is any pressure. Say, any Hearts of Oak the pressure be at
Coach, most of the times, no, only players kasa. Almost say, oh, ball against Kotoko, oh, ball against Hata. Na preparation na. Ebi they ball against different team, no. Form and I different. Now with your boys, no, only say pressure be a dom so. What you say pressure be a new so as a coach. What about your players? Do you see them say preparation na ebi kobo different game be against Kotoko against Hata, no? Pressure be about boys in this one.
I think that we are there Kwakobo Hearts, Kwakobo Kotoko, Kwakobo any of the big clubs. We are there for a player of preparation. There is a little bit of just an amount of pressure be about also. It is up to us, the technical team, to try to psych them up and get them ready for this. Okay. To let them know, like I said, to let them know, say yes, Ukwakobo against Hearts of Oak, but and yet playing against the name Hearts of Oak is playing against, footballers like yourself. Into how we psych the boys up is very important. I think 1 hour before you called me, I was having a meeting with two of them, and I was asking them how they are faring and how the rest of the players in camp are faring and all that. They were assuring me that, oh, coach, players will be okay. Nobody's really even talking about the game. And all that. They don't think that they've really sat down and discussed Hearts of Oak. I think it's obviously the last time that it really dawned on them so many Hearts of Oak and pay training. And it's because I mentioned it. And probably I talked a little bit about the plan of what we are going to go do and how the expectations and everything. And then the more any Hearts but and yes, they don't really sit down and talk about they don't really do that. Normal conversations, having fun as usual in camp and doing what they need to do. So I don't think that even the playing body themselves already a certain amount of pressure be at home also. But there is that reality of many Hearts of Oak.
Okay. Coach Nanajima, a Vision FC coach. Nyame aduma Sunday omone Hearts of Oak. Who some social media banter be between more social media handles nene Hearts of Oak. And so Eddie. Coach, who position Moda 14 for 28 points after about 25 games. Who has a position Moda and mo survivor na interval no the pressure bow so as a coach say mobile enche mobesako.
I can assure you 100% vision and relegation.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Vision is a bad team. Like I said, a new team that has very, very young and inexperienced players. But now these boys are starting to show signs of gathering experience in this animal, especially at home. I think that the only person that has come there to me about ever say a dreams. Everybody else, it's either a draw or it's we winning or home. And for me, the rest of the games, if I'm looking at it again, and there's so much of pressure, I think that I am too experienced to sit back and say that. The pressure to me also because you're 28 points at a 14th position. We're not too far away from the relegation. I think that for me, I like looking forward. What else can I do to help these boys to be able to achieve or gain more points so that they stay off the relegation? But again, I'm a real person. There is that reality. But then again, it is something that I really, really don't think about. I mean, just say, one day I can say, oh, yeah, that's 12th or 13th or 14th or you call relegation. No. My management, the playing body, they will tell you that the back training grounds are everything I do with them are very, very important because I'm able to analyze the teams that we play with. For example, Yokobo Ediana, I told my players, look, Ediana plays through the wide areas. They like the crosses because they have the people on between their head. Another strong point of Ediana is set pieces, especially like corner kicks. This animal. If you give them corner kicks, not someone defending here or more media should go. Into the first thing when they take the ball into the crossing zone, the first thing we need to do is stop that cross. But across the bar, we need to be able to deal with it. And yes, sir, they will be able to score a headed goal. Guess what? Goal already say, is from a corner kick. We gave them that chance without a challenge, and already say. So at the end, when we're analyzing the game, the boys might says, okay, coach, you said this and that. We didn't do this. So next time we need to do that. We need to do it. I think that I give them a perfect breakdown of how the opposition play and how we need to react according to the way they play. And see, if the boys listen, that's exactly what we, the technical team, we are advising them. I think that probably in you need to be aware. But again, like I said, only inexperience. If these things we expect to happen, but just as the season wears on, we say vision will change slowly.
Okay, coach, me this from 1 to 10, rate right. Ghana League, and Ghana football.
What's the one to say?
1 to 10.
1 to 10. I think that we definitely still have a long way to go. There are things we need to learn, and they are very difficult for me to rate because of the stakeholders. I mean, you have referees, you have the clubs, the management, the FA itself, the RFAs. But at the moment, probably I did put us to about 5. We are somewhere there, but there is a lot of work to be done for us to be able to scale over to, let's say, 7.5 and get to the 8. If stakeholders now will do their job, management will motivate players. Players will see to it, say, look, it's our future. When it comes to performance, if technical teams will come up and analyze games and develop the boys the way we are supposed to develop them, if referees will step onto the field and realize that they are Ghana football and Koswa, then I think probably we'll be able to scale over. But at the moment, I did put us to 5 because there is a lot of work. There's too much work. Probably because I'm also looking at it from the point that, I've seen a lot of European games, either live or on TV, and I've seen the way Europeans organize their league and how the league is successful and the amount of money that comes into the league, how much money players are being paid, and my players need taken a bit more serious and all that. Now, when you put all these things together, but I think that overall, the fact that the league is still going on, the fact that we have players that are competing, the fact that we have players like Asaremo, local players that are now, in the Black Stars, it gives a little bit more hope. One of the reasons why it's so difficult, again, for me to put Ghana even very high, every country in Europe, there is no country in Europe or assemble the national team, like for example England. Or England assemble the national team. Most players are from England. Or Spain, the Real Madrid, the Barcelona's, Germany. A lot of players play from the German league. But then mostly when you come here, they're very difficult. You get sometimes you get no player at all from the Ghana league, and yet motivation enough for the local players to continue playing, because all the agents and stuff that come here will be up at 17, 18, 19-year-old. And the question is, past 17, now hit it 20, 21, 22. Now say you don't play for any of your national teams, sir. How realistic is it for you to even make it to Europe and then go and bring, bread and butter for your family? Okay. It means that the local player who is playing here would have to fight hard to play in the national team for any European team to see him, and also to enjoy the 60, 70 or 100,000 pounds a week in the So if the local players here are not being motivated in a way that will push a couple of them also into the national team, for them to also for Omo Makari to feel such a making up with the national team, because at the moment maybe I'm maybe 22, maybe 23, and I will not be able to get that opportunity where the 17, 18-year-old is getting. And since I'm the national team there, then probably I would also have the opportunity. And yes, I said the national team as Kaka the ADP. So, you are motivating in that way. These are 23, 24, 25 now. Most after the Nigerians, now say motivation is swati, because on not only Black Stars number, or not only 20-year-old to play the under 20 game. If you are not under 23 who now fi aka local black stars, the black stars. When yeah no, then I mean there is nothing else. So probably we should push a little bit, try to get our players, the good ones, the top goal scorer, the best players, all these players, probably try to give them that opportunity in the national team to see how far they can go. If they do well, like Asari was picked, he went in, he did well, and now Ghana, he's become an idol for a lot of goalkeepers. They can also get into the national team. So probably, if we're able to do all these things, then the Ghanaian league would also go for it, because I'm for the
okay, coach. Yeah, but that's not Sunday.
Oh, definitely. Sunday has to fall. A home ground. We have our brand of football that we play at home. Definitely, we need 3 points more than they do. Hearts must fall. Extremely important for us.
Hearts must fall on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, coach. You be jana wa 12 Jumadi. So after game, no nyame aduma Monday. You be dim komo.
Yeah, that's the power.